A methamphetamine bust is winding down right now, 6 months after a secret investigation was launched. More than 24 people in Ripley County were arrested after warrants were unsealed. Most are now facing meth-related charges. Local 12's investigative reporter Dwayne Pullman was there for the busts. He shows how some of the meth that was being made in Indiana found its way to the streets of Cincinnati.
Out here in the woods,
Somebody's saying I sold them meth.
And cornfields of rural Indiana, a massive meth bust involving 30 officers and deputies fanning out to arrest 27 people for meth-related charges. Meth continues to be a huge problem for the Hoosier State.
I don't think meth ever went away, and the numbers support that. If Indiana's leading the nation the last 3 years and in the top 10 or top 5 the last 10 years.
And so the rural roundups continued. Most, like this 56-year-old woman who was visiting with friends in the woods, were arrested and charged with providing the key ingredients to meth manufacturers.
Bye, guys.
She was cuffed and sent to jail. So were dozens of others, including this 51-year-old county worker. He was working on the roads when deputies caught up with him. His name is Brian Seachrest, and he now faces a felony count of dealing methamphetamine.
And they're just country folks that make real bad decisions. So.
But don't think that the meth that was being cooked and sold out here in Ripley County is just a rural issue. As a matter of fact, the prosecutor says some of it was actually ending up on the streets of Cincinnati.
I think it's certainly being used in this area, and small amounts are probably going beyond southeast Indiana and the Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio area.
But how much meth is being produced in these woods and fields is still an open question, as is the question of who is behind all that meth that continues to plague this landscape.
I will tell you this, there are prominent people that are involved in this that we don't know about. So it's just not your lower class people, it's everybody.
Most of the people, like that woman in the woods, could now be facing a sentence of up to 2.5 years in prison if they're found guilty of providing the key ingredients for making meth. Others, like that county worker who is now charged with dealing meth, face a much tougher sentence of up to 16 years in prison. And the sheriff tells me the charges and the possible prison sentences should send a strong message for all the meth makers in rural Indiana. Rob?
Dwayne, thanks very much. Many of the 27 people charged today will face a judge this Thursday in Ripley County Court.